Good afternoon, and welcome to this special virtual edition of the 2020 SANDAG iCommute Diamond Awards. I'm Steve Voss, Mayor of Poway and Chair of the SANDAG Board of Directors. Congratulations for being one of the 138 employers in the San Diego region to receive a SANDAG Diamond Award. I'm pleased to announce that's an upward trend again from last year as we recognize 8 new employers in 2020. We're proud to see your continued commitment to improving the quality of life in the San Diego region. We applaud your outstanding efforts to promote alternative transportation choices to your employees. I know you come from organizations of all sizes across the region, and that each one of you has made a difference in helping to relieve traffic congestion, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and improve mobility by promoting alternatives to driving alone. You are our ambassadors. You enhance commuter benefits by encouraging transit, adding bike racks, showers, or dedicated carpool and vanpool spaces to your work sites. Some of you offer subsidies and pre-tax incentives for employees who choose alternative transportation, and some of you are working hard to implement long-term teleworking policies to support employees who have successfully transitioned to working from home this year. I'm sure you know, choosing an alternative to driving alone just once a week can make a big difference in employee wellness, productivity, and retention. And each individual employee who uses alternative transportation also reduces impacts on the state of our roads and environment. All to say, we applaud your outstanding efforts to promote alternative transportation choices to your employees. During the SANDAG Board of Directors meeting next week, I'll ask my fellow board members to recognize you as this year's Diamond Awards recipients for your commitment to sustainable transportation choices. Congratulations, and thank you for your commitment to improving transportation and our quality of life in the San Diego region. Now I'd like to turn it over to iCommute Program Manager Jay Fott, who will guide us through this year's virtual presentation. Again, congratulations.
Thank you, Chairman Voss, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jay Fott, the iCommute Program Manager at SANDAG. One of my favorite things to do with the Diamond Award ceremony every year is to meet all the wonderful employers who have worked so hard at making a difference in the way their employees commute to work. While we can't see each other in person this year, I am excited that more people are able to join us remotely to see what a wonderful job you all are doing. Here's what you can expect for this afternoon's virtual presentation. I'll guide you through the iCommute program and introduce you to the team. Next, we'll hear a keynote presentation from our very own Director of Regional Planning, Colleen Clemenson. And finally, we'll present the list of this year's 138 Diamond Awards and hear from those employers who achieved the highest award tier, Platinum. As you probably know, the San Diego Association of Governments, or SANDAG, is the region's primary public planning, transportation, and research agency, and SANDAG serves as the forum for regional decision-making. iCommute is the transportation demand management program at SANDAG. Through our programs and services, iCommute promotes and encourages sustainable commute choices across the region, mainly through employers and key points of contact that we call ETCs, or Employee Transportation Coordinators. This has been a memorable year as our services pivoted to focus on providing support to organizations establishing a telework program, many of them for the very first time. We will continue to adapt to the needs of our employers throughout the region, but our long-term goals remain the same: to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve the livability and quality of life in the San Diego region. I'd like to take a moment to recognize our iCommute Employer Outreach team: Deborah Jones, Patty Talamantes, Destry Lazo Bascos, Erica Sadi, Rachel Forseth, John Harris, and Barbara Ledesma. These account executives work with our region's employers every day to implement commuter benefits programs. Here's what they have to say about some of the highlights of the program in fiscal year 2020.
The Diamond Awards are so important to the iCommute Employer Program because it is the epitome of recognition for all the hard work that employers put in over the year, and I think it really highlights how important a commuter program is to a corporation.
Diamond Awards is like the Super Bowl or World Series. So much hard work is put in throughout the fiscal year. So at the end, it's time for recognition of your employers and time to celebrate.
Working with employers to promote alternative commute choices has a positive impact because it's the most sensible way to change the way people travel is their commute to and from work, and all these changes come together to make a bigger change. So we have a team of 5, 6, 7 people working with various groups of employers, and we may not see what the other groups are doing, but suddenly traffic is a lot better and there's more carpool options and there's programs and momentum. So all these small changes add up.
As I'm sure many of us are aware, about 40% of our region's greenhouse gas emissions are from on-road transportation. So if we can even get just 10% of people throughout the whole region, 20% even better, to switch to either carpooling, riding their bike, getting to work in any other way other than just driving by themselves, we can have a dramatic cut in greenhouse gas emissions, we can drastically reduce traffic congestion, and we can also improve quality of life and encourage a healthy and active lifestyle for San Diegans throughout the region.
When employers start working with us, they get a lot of things. They get incentives, they get marketing materials, they get our time as consultants to guide them and help them through all the process. And their employees benefit because they see that their employer is taking care of their well-being. They also save money and they get access to all these different incentives that we provide.
One of the biggest challenges of the year was definitely supporting the immediate transition of employers to the stay-at-home order. Our iCommute team immediately pivoted to host a series of telework webinars at the end of March. One of our featured panelists was a Diamond Award recipient at the Platinum level. Their ETC was able to share their strategies for their transition of their entire workforce to working remotely. They shared topics about how to set up their office at their home, how to communicate with their team members remotely, as well as how to manage their time when it came to work and life.
I chose to be a part of the SANDAG iCommute team because this is a very specific program that's been very successful with its mission. We know that not everyone can live the most environmentally friendly life, and it's harder and harder to do some days, but this is one way we can help. And transportation has such a big impact in our daily lives. To be able to think about it creatively and think about it at a larger scale where you're not just helping yourself, but you're helping a lot of people think differently about how they get to work. Think more creatively about the actions they take in their life and hopefully have a bigger impact.
It's so satisfying to be able to help employers help their employees get to work and use alternative modes. We have empowered so many people to try a new commute.
Now we'd like to share some details about SANDAG's vision for the region. As you may know, SANDAG is currently updating the regional plan, which will provide a bold new vision for our region through 2050. Through a new data-driven process, the 2021 regional plan is being developed to transform the way people and goods move. This transformation aims to provide people with more travel choices, protect the environment, create healthy communities, and stimulate economic growth for the benefit of all San Diegans.
My commute experience when I'm in rush hour is horrible. Even if I'm going 3 to 5 miles, it can take me up to 40 minutes sometimes to get to work.
Sometimes environmentally conscious ways of transportation or ways of living aren't accessible, either just physically not accessible to me or money-wise, I don't have the money to access this type of, transportation.
I hope my kid doesn't need to depend on gasoline anymore in the future, and then he will still feel safe riding his bike in the community and just grow up happy.
Transportation that considers not just the everyday working person, but also maybe that senior citizen who needs to make the doctor's appointment at a certain time, but because of a lack of transportation can't make it.
I'm not in favor of expanding areas where we live. I think if there's a way to build up instead of out, I think that makes a lot more sense environmentally. and then to work on the public transit infrastructure instead of building new highways and adding new cars to an already clogged system.
What you need to do is forget that you have a car. How are you going to get from this place to this place? How do you want to get there?
If you present me with an option that is superior to the current method of transportation I'm using, I'm naturally going to gravitate to it, and I won't be alone. There'll be widespread adoption.
Finding new solutions for getting around the San Diego region starts with understanding the needs of each community. That's the heart of human-centered design. SANDAG is combining community input with advanced analytics to illuminate an innovative and sustainable future for transportation. We're thinking holistically about optimizing current solutions and integrating new technologies that unite to offer you greater choices. Options that will make transportation faster, more accessible, flexible, and smarter. Now is our time to be forward-thinking. We have an opportunity to do things differently. A chance to be bold.
I love San Diego. I love my community. I love Old Town. I mean, it's important to take an interest in where you live.
And it would be great if we didn't have to spend hours and hours in the car in 20 or 30 years.
I'm extremely optimistic about where San Diego's headed. It's a great community. Even having lived here for several years, I still have little moments where I'll be driving home, the sun's setting over the ocean, and I still feel a little bit of gratitude that I live here.
And now I'd like to welcome Colleen Clemenson, Director of Regional Planning, who is joining us today to share some recent updates on the regional plan.
Thank you, Jay. I'm so pleased to be here to address this impressive group of employers. On August 14th, my team and I presented the details of a bold new transportation vision for the San Diego region to our SANDAG Board of Directors. A reimagined transportation network that would reduce congestion, increase social equity, and meet our legislative mandates. Today, I want to share a few of those highlights with you. To start, none of us could have imagined where we would find ourselves today in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. It's caused suffering in our region. It's created a lot of unknowns. And many of us are asking ourselves daily, how long will this pandemic last? How long will it take the economy to recover? When will people feel comfortable taking public transit again? We don't have answers to these questions, but there are things that we do know. Things will get back to normal at some point. Many things will not change. For example, the layout of our region, where we live, where our schools are, the universities, our job centers like Sereno Valley and Kearny Mesa, Palomar Airport Road, and downtown San Diego. As this pandemic has progressed, we've collected data, some from many of you, which indicates that more people may telework after the pandemic ends. But regardless, people will still need to travel. We still need to run errands, take kids to school, see family and friends, go to health appointments, shopping, and just have fun. So in preparing this vision, there are three major challenges we are solving for: traffic congestion, social equity, and meeting our legislative mandates. If we're going to solve these problems, we must fundamentally rethink how we are addressing the transportation system. The first problem is traffic congestion. This has been a long-standing issue all of us can relate to throughout the county. Our roadways are unorganized, they're inefficient, we have multiple users, semi-tractor trailers, trash trucks, buses, cars making short trips, cars making long trips, all competing for the same lanes. And this problem cannot be solved by simply adding new traffic lanes. Studies have shown that adding lanes actually increases traffic because the new capacity gained on the roadway is quickly absorbed by latent and induced demand. And very soon after an improvement is made, traffic speeds return to what they were before, the improvements were made. So this is why we need to find new ways to leverage the tremendous investment in our roadway system that we've already made. The second area that we need to address are communities of concern, and these are defined by low income, minority, and seniors. These three maps that I'm showing you, the darkest areas are those areas with the highest populations. And the third are the legislative mandates. These are the laws that we must follow as we put together the plan. The strategy that we've used is to put together the 5 big moves. These 5 big moves are 5 strategies that, when brought together, will help address our transportation challenges and really take our transportation system into the future to serve generations to come. It's complete corridors, transit leap, mobility hubs, flexible fleets, and the next operating system. They all must work together. You cannot have one without the other 4. When we started this process, rather than relying on any of the transportation projects that had been in our plan previously, we started with the data. Where do people live and where do they work? These 2 figures show the density of our population where people live, and on the right, these are the employment centers in the region. Then we took a look at the trip-making patterns. So all these lines on the map show where the trips are that people are making from home to work. These are some of the best opportunities we have for providing true transportation options when there are multiple people making the same trip virtually the same time of day. When it comes to our communities of concern, we know that 7% of low-income residents, only 7%, have access to fast and frequent transit service. We also know that the median travel time for anyone taking transit is 51 minutes. That's double the travel time for people who drive to work. 13% of our population will be age 75 or older in 2050. So this is an important consideration as well. So how does this come together with the 5 big moves? Here's what we're proposing for a proposed complete corridor network. This is a network of managed lanes like what we have on Interstate 15 today throughout our highway system. 2 lanes in each direction in most cases. Also improvements on rural corridors to make sure that people using the 67 and some of the other rural highways, there are safety improvements to ensure people can get out in the event of a fire, and also just because there are a lot of curves in some of those roads that need to be fixed. Local streets and roads play an important factor as well in complete corridors. So we think of all of the local streets that maybe run parallel to some of our highways, and they need to accommodate all users. The second big move is the transit leap. The big change with transit is a high-speed commuter rail system that would travel at 80, 90, or 100 miles an hour, and that provides a true travel option. Here's a map of the proposed transit leap network, which would connect all our job centers with a combination of high-speed rail, expansion of the existing light rail that we have in the region, as well as high-speed rapid bus service, and a number of special projects, such as a connection to the San Diego airport from a central mobility hub. Here's what a station could look like once we apply the 5 big moves. This is the San Ysidro Transit Center pickup drop-off areas today. Here's what it could look like with the 5 big moves, with multiple transportation options, lots of activity, and increased development within that area. Mobility hubs, the 3rd big move, 31 mobility hubs in the region, each tailored to a particular community that they're in. The cornerstone being a central mobility hub that would have a direct connection to San Diego International Airport. Here's an example up in North County, the Oceanside Transit Center platform today, and what it could look like as a mobility hub, and what surrounding areas could look like, the streets leading into the mobility hub with multiple transportation options. The 4th big move, the flexible fleets, they operate everywhere. These are the smaller neighborhood vehicles that can get us to and from mobility hubs where we can take high-speed transit, and also can help us do short trips within our communities. These are e-bikes and e-scooters. Van pools may be taking us to some of the further reaches in our region, and some of us who don't live close to high-speed transit in the more remote locations could also have access to flexible fleets. They operate everywhere. Here's how the Sorrento Valley Transit Station could look. This would be a mobility hub with multiple flexible fleets, multiple transportation options, all coming together in one location. This is Mira Mesa Boulevard in Sorrento Valley. Here's what it looks like today. Here's what it could look like with increased development and deployment of flexible fleets, as well as a major transit station. The fifth big move is the operating system. This is the technology that makes it all work. Everything from timing our traffic signals to having real-time information about when the next bus is coming or when the next train will be coming, and operating our highway system, maybe closing down a lane during emergencies to allow emergency vehicles to pass through. Here's an example of how the 5 big moves is different from any planning we've done before. Our current 2015 plan for the North County 78 corridor includes 1 managed lane in each direction and improvements along the Sprinter to speed up the service. With the 5 big moves, we actually look at 2 managed lanes in each direction on the 78, connecting to managed lanes on Interstate 5 and Interstate 15, adding in high-speed commuter rail that will connect job centers along the 78 corridor, improving next generation rapid bus service along Palomar Airport Road, mobility hubs, as well as a flexible fleet network. And the background of each of these maps show little dots. Those are actually people, where they live. And you can see that with the figure on the right, we actually provide a transportation alternative for almost every one of those blue dots. What happens with the communities of concern? These are the 3 maps I showed you earlier. When we apply the 5 big moves, you can see that we absolutely connect all of these darkest areas of the region. Is it going to cost a lot? Yes. We estimate $177 billion investment. How does that compare to previous plans? $128 billion for the most recent plan, $130 billion for the plan before that. This is a long-term investment. It's a big investment, and therefore deserves a good public dialogue and debate. So to wrap up, the new transportation vision includes a network of managed lanes throughout the region, improvements in our rural corridors for safety and evacuation, a high-speed transit network, mobility hubs, flexible fleets, and technology to make it all work. So thank you Diamond Award winners, employers, for your impressive efforts over the last year. Please keep in touch. And Jay, back to you.
Thank you, Colleen. And without further ado, let's move on to this year's Diamond Award recipients. As you may know, the Diamond Awards program recognizes employers of all sizes as they work the various stages of their commuter benefits program. The program is based on a point system tied to elements of the employer's commute program, its annual commuter events and activities, and shifts in employee transportation choices. There are 4 tiers of Diamond Awards recognition: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. This year's Diamond Award certificates and plaques have already been mailed out, so hopefully you've all received it and shared it proudly with your team. I'd like to start by recognizing this year's bronze level recipients. It's just wonderful to see how many companies are making improvements for their employees and the community, so thank you. Some recipients are also new to the program, and you'll see a star next to the name of companies who are receiving a Diamond Award for the very first time this year. The silver tier recipients made additional strides. Thank you for all your efforts in fiscal year 2020. Our Gold Award recipients have shown a true commitment to improving the quality of life in the San Diego region. Thank you to our gold level employers. And now we'd like to take this time to specifically recognize each of our Platinum tier employers. Platinum recipients have had the most success in employee mode shifts. They demonstrate enthusiasm to grow their commuter benefit programs and are a model to other organizations. We took a few minutes to chat with each of them to learn why participating in the iCommute program is so important to their organization. The first award goes to AEComm.
At AEComm, we see employees impacted by commuting alternatives every day. They come to work happier. They're allowed to work flexible schedules. It really helps boost the morale of the employees.
Alexandria Real Estate Equities.
Alexandria offers several rewards for people who commute by bike. We have great shower and locker rooms, perks where we'll support people with bike maintenance, training on commuting, as well as supporting direct costs of some of the consumables needed to commute by bike.
BD Biosciences Farmington.
Our company's mission is to advance the world of health. Right now, we're working on a rapid COVID test. And with that work-life balance and helping all people lead healthy lives, we're totally in alignment with doing a rideshare program. We're all working together toward that goal to help advance the world of health, reduce stress, help the environment.
Caltrans District 11.
Most people take the trolley and the coaster. We're fortunate to have monthly passes that Caltrans subsidizes for us, and I think that it's working very well. We're hoping that that will grow.
The Center for Sustainable Energy.
Center for Sustainable Energy has been part of the iCommute program since 2017. They have reduced their single occupancy vehicle rate from 85% to 72%. That is a great accomplishment. So thank you to Center for Sustainable Energy for your commitment and for being part of the iCommute program.
Circulate San Diego.
It's a great honor to be awarded a Platinum Level Diamond Award again. We think that we are in a great group of recognized employers throughout the region who are really walking the walk and talking the talk of making sustainable transportation an attractive option for employees. And we support all the great work that iCommute's doing with SANDAG and just want to see it keep growing and being a successful program.
Del Mar Fairgrounds.
I am super excited to welcome the Del Mar Fairgrounds to this year's Platinum level. They have worked really hard to make sure iCommute resources are integrated into their orientation training, employee handbook, and web pages. Additionally, they encourage and promote sustainable commutes to the fairground employees by offering free transit passes, carpool priority parking for 3 or more people, and also bike racks at a couple of their gates.
Dudek.
So one example of employees being positively impacted is this strong sense of friendship that we've seen from our commuters that go northbound on the coaster before we opened our Liberty Station office. So I would just say overall the sense of community.
Farron Pierce.
By far, this is the most successful commute program that we employ. As transportation planners, we also understand the impact that driving single occupancy vehicles has on the transportation network and the environment. I think this mindset and an intimate understanding of the transportation network also helps us to have such a high proportion of employees using alternative commute forms.
HII San Diego Shipyard.
This year we hosted Lunch and Learns to provide options for our workforce regarding the benefits of shared commuter transportation. Ride sharing is a good opportunity for every person to make a change that benefits the environment. Parking is a premium along the San Diego waterfront, which means that designating parking spots reserved for rideshare is a great incentive for those who want to participate in the commuter program for benefits.
HM Electronics.
SANDAG has just been a great partner. We got over 70 employees using the van pool programs now. You know, it's so easy. It not only saves them money, but people in the van, it's a social function for them. For some, it's a nap time. For some, they can check their Facebook. There's a lot of things that they do in the van pool, but they love that.
ICF.
Being a Diamond Award recipient, we've actually been awarded, ICF has been awarded this distinction 5 or 6 years in a row. It's been quite several years that we've had it. And now it's kind of built into our culture, and being able to recognize that we are a Diamond Award recipient is pretty important to our qualifications. It's one of those differentiators that we feel is really important, and we want to make sure we're continuing that high level of status.
Illumina.
Illumina offers a variety of TDM services for their employees. They have free shuttles that go to and from their coaster and to their workplace, free EV charging stations, free bike racks, lockers, and biking amenities, as well as employer subsidies for van pooling. They've also created an Illumina Ways carpool group and are building their database for ride sharing. Congratulations, Illumina.
Jacobs.
By situating their offices to transit and also providing a subsidy to employees to take transit instead of paid parking, Jacobs is awarded at the platinum level because their SOV rate is 32%.
LPL Financial.
LPL Financial has done a great job promoting a diverse range of alternate commutes for their employees. They have taken advantage of bike employer services, both in person and now virtual, and have also hosted a series of carpool formation events to help employee find ride matches.
Mixed Communications.
At Mixed Communications, a lot of us weren't super comfortable on a bike before starting at Mixed, but since joining, we've all tried out biking and really love it. And we created these days called Wheeled Wednesdays, where we all get together and ride from a select location to our office. And it's just a really nice way for all of us to get together.
Outdoor Outreach.
At Outdoor Outreach, our staff has strengthened relationships with one another by teaming up for carpooling or even biking together from the same neighborhoods. Our telecommute options also provide flexibility for staff and contribute to positive mental health.
Recon Environmental.
Recon offers a complete commuter benefit program that encourages different modes of transportation. That includes MTS passes at no cost, also bicycle parking, allowances for cycling equipment, promote flexible schedules, and work from home opportunities. Congratulations!
San Diego Convention Center.
We implemented or incorporated the commuter program into our wellness program. You know, after all, I think that taking public transportation, not having to deal with traffic, the cost of gas, you know, and the win-win of it being an ability to help clean air, that, you know, a commuter program is well within a wellness program.
San Diego State University.
SDSU had committed to being basically fully carbon neutral by 2050. Starting in 2008, we established a sustainability committee. And then as a sort of progression off of those commitments, in 2014, our president Hirschman signed the university onto the American College and University Climate Commitment. And with that, we basically agreed to complete greenhouse gas inventory, climate action plans, and regular reporting on our progress moving forward.
Sempra Energy.
We've had almost 30% of our employees use alternative means of transportation. That includes the bus, trolley, the train, as well as biking, and people that live downtown that have a short commute and they walk to work. So that's pretty neat, having 30% of the workforce out of almost 900 people use alternative means of transportation to their commute.
Sharp Healthcare.
We really work hard to make sure that we keep this in front of the employees so they know that we're here for them. We have these programs and they seem to run seamlessly, but we try to keep them out there and offer incentives in order for the employees to know that we're here for them. So I'm ecstatic for the recognition and for Sharp Healthcare to receive the recognition because they have supported our program. They have helped us to succeed, and I'm really very thrilled about it.
Southwest Strategies.
The employees at Southwest Strategies are very supportive and actually excited about alternate commuting. We have so many choices downtown, and I think, you know, seeing your coworkers have success and trying different things has really emboldened others. And so we're always actively talking about what we're doing, how we're getting to work, and some, you know, fun stories and things that you experience along the way. But for the most part, you know, our companies are very open and like to promote and like to try new things. And so our employees are very supportive of alternate commute options and choices, and a lot of them, we do some fun challenges around it too.
U.S. Coast Guard Sector San Diego.
The mission of the Coast Guard can be broken up into 3 sections: maritime safety, maritime security, maritime stewardship. And underneath that, we have 11 missions that we execute daily. One of those is marine environmental protection. So having an alternative commute program aligns with that value by reducing our carbon footprint and also reducing the amount of non-point source pollution, stormwater runoff from roadways that could include oil from polluting our natural waterways.
UC San Diego.
So at UC San Diego, we've had almost a 10 times increase over the last 20 years of people riding transit to get to campus. In addition to that, it's really important that people can carpool to campus, and we do support that as well through special programs. But we find a lot of people create organic carpools, and they do that maybe part-time, and it's really a great solution, and a large percentage of people get to campus that way. It gives people a low-impact way and a low-cost way of getting to campus on a regular basis.
Verimatrix.
I would say the commuter options that are the easiest for our employees are the carpools, van pools, and the coaster. We have several groups that get together, a car or van pool from the coaster, and as well we have another number of employees that take advantage of biking from the coaster station. So that is great efficiency on their carbon emissions.
Vertex Pharmaceuticals.
We're proud that the culture here really promotes alternative commuting and sustainability. We have like 15 to 20% of our employees, kind of commuting by bike. But, beyond that, they utilize a lot of the resources, through MTS, Coaster, Amtrak, as well as all of the various resources that iCommute and Biocom and MTS kind of as a partnership really offer employers and employees.
WSP.
So our employees who have switched to alternative commuting can either work while on the way to the office in public transit. Normally people say that they're doing their emails or finishing up some easy to do things while they're commuting. And then others who say that they're biking or walking report coming to the office in a clear state of mind due to the morning exercise and mindful transit.
Okay, thank you everyone. This wraps up the Fiscal Year 2020 Diamond Awards presentation. Thank you again for attending and for your efforts to improve the quality of life in the San Diego region. We hope to see you all again next year, but next year, hopefully in person. Have a great day.